What is up, people? Today I've got for you a fragrance from Lattafa The Kingdom. Now, this is a beautiful, a very sweet fragrance. It is supposed to dupe Jean Paul Gaultier Le Mal Elixir, which I think it's not a dupe, more of a twist, because it's not a one-to-one whatsoever. I don't even think they're trying to go for a one-to-one. This is completely different, or not completely, but there are very distinct differences from it that make it stand on as its own fragrance. Honestly, just sharing a little bit of similarities to Le Mal Elixir. So the scent profile goes on like this. It is very sweet throughout its entirety, very sweet, but the opening is very clean. I get a sweet, clean sage, sort of, very clean, and the mid to its dry down in that realm. I get little heavier sweetness from that tobacco in it, and I get a sort of denser honey aspect, which I think it has. But the main difference from this to the Mal Elixir is the Mal Elixir is a lot denser. The honey is much heavier, and the tobacco is it's much more prominent. But this makes it a twist, makes it actually more appropriate for daily use, because it's a lot less sweeter and a lot less denser, and it has a clean, I don't know if it's sage or orange blossom in it, I don't know, but it's a very clean floral aspect to it, which tones down the sweetness of the fragrance. So all in all, this is a very good interpretation of the DNA, and distinct from Le Mal Elixir. It's not a one-to-one dupe whatsoever, but it has some similarities. And the similarities are the honey vanilla sweetness and deliciousness. I love this percent profile. Very compliment worthy. You do get a lot of compliments. It's appropriate for all ages, but I would preserve it to the younger crowd, sort of. And the projection on this fragrance is solid. Very good projection, way above average, honestly, like an 8 out of 10. The longevity is also good, up to 7 to 8 hours in that realm, it's very nice. It's If its projection is good, the scent bubble will also be great, and the scent trail is also great. So all in all, this is a very good fragrance. I've received a lot of compliments on it, and a friend of mine asked for the name to buy. And as you know, I'm not a gatekeeper. I told him it's Lattafa The Kingdom. A very beautiful fragrance, and also the sort of bottle is gorgeous, man. Look, it's like this enclosed in a chest and whatnot. And also the packaging it came with is also very beautiful. So, all in all, this is a very solid fragrance, but is it a solid dupe? No. If you want that dense, heavy, thick sweetness, sweet honey, dense tobacco from the Mal Elixir, you will not get it in this fragrance. Do not go in here expecting it to be close to Le Mal Elixir. It is not. I will tell you that right off the bat. But as its own fragrance, as its own standing, without comparing it to Le Mal Elixir, it is a solid. It is a very beautiful fragrance, and it has gotten a lot of hype recently. I've seen it in the Reddit forums and on TikTok, but now the hype sort of died down, and I think when the hype dies down and the fragrance is still beautiful and you still catch somebody talking about it here and there, that is a testimony to its greatness and a testimony to it being worth all the hype. And I think this fragrance is worth all the hype that it got. A very beautiful scent, man. Honestly, it's clean yet sweet. Very nice, man. Appropriate for all uses. Honestly, I will use it every single day of the year except for scorching hot days, maybe like in the middle of at the end of July, where it's like here in Sweden gets up to like 26-27 degrees. I would push away from it. I would honestly push away from like a lot of fragrances if it's that hot. I would say that the scent becomes, whatever it is, it becomes so dense. So on very hot days I would avoid this, but on cold days, on spring days, on autumn days, yes, go with this fragrance, man. Honestly, and look, I have actually dented it quite a bit. This is crazy. And it's also a great layering fragrance, because the sweetness in it is compatible with other fragrances. I have layered this with Mancera tobacco, red tobacco. I've layered this with Strong With You Absolute, and I've layered this with BDK Gris Charnel. A very, very awesome fragrance, man. And all in all, this gets a solid 8 out of 10 for me. I knocked down the rating a little bit because this scent is quite, it's not unique whatsoever. It's very, Le Male Alexis DNA is quite popular, honestly. So this takes it down just a few notches for me, but an 8.5 I think is a very worthy rating for this fragrance. And I thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope this video helped you pick out your next fragrance purchase.